I guess that's about all you can do, really.
We're a couple of weeks removed from the early signing period. Certainly, A&M made a big impact. One more to go. Your thoughts on the early signing period and what's next for A&M in recruiting?
I liked it a lot better this year than I did last year.
I bet.
Because we had 2 weeks, and we're trying to beg people, hey, don't sign, hold on to January till we can get in front of you. But the early signing period is good, knowing that you've got your class in, and the way recruiting is. And I say this all the time, Paul. Back in the day, I can still remember because I'm not that old. I can remember going out in spring and remembering we're evaluating you in spring to see who we're recruiting as seniors. We're recruiting 3 or 4 classes at a time now. And if you don't have an early signing period, the thing it doesn't allow a head coach to do is to get to schools and find out about the juniors. Like, we still have 3 guys to sign. But I'll spend a lot of 2020. I can't go talk to the kids specifically at their school, but I can go to the school and let the coach know, hey, we're going to be recruiting so-and-so who's a junior. Talk to the janitor, talk to the teachers. And as a head coach being there, it's a big difference, and I think allows us as head coaches to get around because that's the only time we get out. Before, we didn't get to see a lot of those juniors. And I think the earliest, I would personally like to see it at the end of July. I really would. I'd like to see it before the season. I think it would help out drastically, even with assistant coaches' time and what they're doing. But an early signing period is good. We have to have one. Maybe we can get it moved back in time. I think it's going to stay where it's at for now, but I am in favor of it.
Let me be among the early people to ask you, and you'll be asked this about 8 billion times between now and Monday night. You played both teams in the championship. You know both coaches very well. You know both programs. In looking at these two, how would you evaluate and separate and compare and contrast?
When we played them, Clemson very early, and I think Clemson has gotten a lot better and improved during the year as they were, and I think Alabama has too. I think it's a very evenly matched up deal because I think both teams have explosive players on offense that can, as I say, have one-play drives. Clemson's receivers are dynamic outside. The running back 9, he gets in green grass, he can run away. Now that Lawrence is playing quarterback, he can throw the football and get it vertically. And the thing about him you got to be careful of. They think of him as a passer. He still can pull that ball in those zone reads. And he may not go 50, but he can go 10 and 15 and hurt you and keep drives alive in that regard. Alabama, of course, is so dynamic on offense. I mean, they got 3 receivers. They all can catch it. The tight end is a sleeper in that group that people forget about, and all of a sudden he hurts you. Their backs, they got three backs that can really run the football, and, of course, 2 is playing as good as anybody. And I think it's going to get down to turnovers, big plays, because on defense, both have outstanding fronts that play the run well. Who can pressure the other guy's passer, I think, is going to be very critical. And can get him out of rhythm, create some negative plays, and watch you doing that. And then the special teams, I think, are going to be a big factor in this game. I think it's going to be a tightly contested game because Clemson, Alabama, you lately have given up some plays down the field, and Clemson can throw the football to do that. But in return, I think, Clemson has given up some plays in the past game, and Alabama can. So I think the big plays, the consistency, the kicking game, and turnover is going to be a big part of it. And which team can figure out a way to run the football and take pressure off the quarterback so he doesn't have to make every play.
Finally, in these games, you won a national championship in the BCS era. You were in the playoffs. You've been in tremendously big bowl games. Is it different when it's down to one game?
Yeah, it is. It is because anything can happen in one game, and you try to prepare. And it's hard to change who you are. You are what you are, and you don't want to change because that's why you're successful. But you got to be on alert to the special fake punt, the special trick play, and any little wrinkle that somebody thinks you can get in or you can get in yourself to try to create an advantage. Because when you get this far, listen, the team you're playing is going to be a great team or you wouldn't be playing them. So you're trying to find that one little edge or some kind of play. And like you say, one game can make a difference. And the big thing about that game, in my opinion, is don't worry about winning it. Worry about playing it. Prepare to play it and then play the game. It's still a game. Because if you get caught up in trying, I got to win the championship, I think that's where teams get tight. And I think that's where teams can allow, at least for a quarter or something, to slip away. And when you play a good team, you can't afford to waste any of that time.
Jimbo Fisher, congratulations again on a phenomenal first season. Look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for having me, buddy.
You bet. Great conversation there with Coach Fisher, who won the national championship back during the 2013 season at Florida State, beating Auburn out in Pasadena. We'll take a short break.